Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The movie Claire, directed by Wojciech Smarzowski, has had record attendances in cinemas nationwide. Although the director claims that the movie is not anti-Christian, many people have perceived the film as aggressively anti-Catholic.
The movie Claire, or Clergy in English, premiered on Friday and nearly 1 million people attended. This is the biggest turnout for a cinema's premiere in Poland in the last 30 years. The movie has caused a lot of controversy and extreme emotions long before the premiere. A lot of people know that situations we can see in the movie actually happened. I think it would cause people to conclude that priests are not saints and there are people just like ourselves. Priest Stanisław Małkowski says that the holiness of the church doesn't mean that everyone in the church is a saint. There are those kind of people that want to be saints, but there are also those who sin in a cynical way. The holiness is based on Jesus and Holy Mary. The reason for the holiness of the church is much deeper than grasping pathologies. According to the publicist Tomasz Rowiński, the intensive ad campaign is the reason for the movie's popularity. The topic of faith is very important in Poland, and this movie was seen as not only opponents of the church, but also its members to have the basis to fight back with their arguments. This is a very important element of this film's popularity, which results in sensationalism. This is a serious conversation with people who want to go to the church, but something stops them. It gives the opportunity to open the box of truth. Academic Citizens Club hold a strong opinion on the movie. The movie is part of an ideological war with the Catholic Church in Poland. Its goal is to cause bad emotions. We are very sorry that famous artists decided to be a tool in this ideological struggle. They participate in hate speech, in the escalation of anti-clericalism, and they strike an environment of great achievements for Polish culture. The controversy around the movie and its anti-Catholic undertone appears to be an intentional marketing operation. Early signs suggest that the movie could be the most watched film in Wojciech Smarzowski's career.
The remains of the Polish World War II hero, Admiral Joseph Unruk, have been returned to Poland for a state funeral. Unruk commanded the Polish Navy during the invasion of Poland. The Germans offered him the chance to switch sides as he was of German descent, but he declined and, to the delight of his Polish colleagues, refused to speak to them in German, claiming that he had forgotten how to speak the language following the invasion. Brexit is getting closer and closer, but there is no official accord between Great Britain and the European Union as to how it's going to happen. The details of the conditions for the United Kingdom leaving the European community are still unknown because Brussels has stiffened its position after the British government submitted its proposal.
The European Commission feels that Britain is not taking negotiations particularly seriously. Sometimes I have an impression that the British think that they are the ones who leave Britain behind, but it's the other way around. Prime Minister Theresa May's idea to get past the impasse is a political strategy known as the Checkers Plan. According to May, it serves the national interest of the country and relies on the free movement of goods between the EU and the United Kingdom, but free flow would not apply to personal traffic.
Well, the policy on immigration that we're announcing today delivers on the vote of the referendum and takes back control of our borders. It ensures that we bring an end to free movement once and for all. And for the first time in decades, it will be the UK government determining how many people and who can come to the United Kingdom. And yes, this system will be based on skills. It'll be based not on where somebody comes from, but on how they can contribute to our economy. And I think that's important.
The British government's programme was met with a lack of acceptance from the opposition Labour Party, the European Commission and the politicians of its own Conservative Party. The most prominent politician to lead the opposition toward the Checkers deal is the former Secretary of State Boris Johnson.
That is why it is so sad and so desperately wrong that we are preparing to agree terms with Brussels that will make it much more difficult, if not impossible, to do such deals. And that's why it was such a mistake of us to leave on the Chequers terms.
According to the plan adopted by the British government, the United Kingdom will finally leave the European community on Friday, March 29, 2019.
EU and NATO leaders are worried that the low voter turnout in Sunday's Macedonian referendum might spell the end for the process of the country's quick ascension to NATO and the EU. Macedonia has been embroiled in a name dispute with Greece, where a region of the country is also named Macedonia. It's lasted over 3 decades and the country has refused to give the green light for Macedonian membership in NATO and the EU as long as the country doesn't change its name. The referendum on Sunday was meant to initiate the process of renaming the country to North Macedonia. But following calls for a boycott, the voter turnout of 36% fell short of the 50% required for the referendum to be legally valid. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Join us after the break for Poland Daily Weather and then join me after that for Poland Daily Business.